Hello, beautiful people. Welcome or welcome back to Alexis Faye Yoga. I am so very glad that you've decided to join me today. What a beautiful day that we get to move our bodies, that we get to breathe in fresh new air, that we get to breathe in energy and love and creativity today. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to another week of yoga. Sending that right foot back. We're going to do a beginner's yoga. So if you are completely new to yoga, that is fine. I will be explaining the poses and helping you find a nice alignment so that your next class you're feeling more confident, more able, and this will be a nice gentle class for you today. We're going to begin today's class by finding a seat. I will be sitting on the floor. If that is uncomfortable in your body, or you're not sure if you'll be able to get back up off the floor without assistance, you can find a seat in a chair as well. Either is perfectly fine for today's practice. Now, wherever we are seated, we'll sit up nice and tall, pressing down through the sit bones. So if that means wiggling around a little bit, maybe moving some stuff around so that we can sit down firmly and feel nice and grounded in this pose, go ahead and do so. We'll take a large breath in through the nose as we reach tall through the top of the head, long across the back. And with our exhale, we'll let it go. Now we'll do 3 more breaths like this. In through the nose. With our exhale, we'll let it go out as a sigh or out through the mouth. Taking a big breath in and letting it go. Another big breath in and letting it go. One more time. Good. We will bring one hand down beside us. So if that means sitting it onto our chair or holding onto the edge of their chair, that's perfect. Or if that means bringing it to the floor, that's perfect too. We'll take the other arm, reaching it down towards the floor, splaying the fingertips away from each other. With our inhale, we'll reach that arm up and over, a nice rainbow shape as we reach it over to our side. Cartwheeling the arm, switching side, planting the other hand down, up and over. Back through center. We'll do that first side again. This time we'll hold it for a little longer. Inhale, reaching up and over. Now bringing our attention to this side, this lung over here. The stretch from the hip all the way out through the fingertips. We're nice and long. We're reaching with that arm. And we'll take a really big breath in, imagining a lot of our air going into that lung, that open side there, to help us get a little deeper into this stretch. Good, cartwheeling the arm. Same thing on this other side. Coming up and over and bringing our attention to this side, this lung over here, this rib cage. Reaching long with the fingertips so that we're long from the hip all the way out. Taking a large breath in. Imagining the breath going through the lungs, fully expanding them. And letting them go again, letting go of the breath. Inhale back through center again. We'll place both hands on our knees. Continuing with our breath work, with an inhale, we'll lift the chest, lift the eyes slightly. We're not looking up, but we're letting the chest lift and take the eyes up a little higher with it. With our exhale, we'll curl into center, bringing chin down to the chest, arching back through the mid-back. Inhale to lift. Exhale to curl, to roll. Finding our seated cat-cows, back and forth with the breath. And we'll move back to a neutral spine again, sitting normally again. We'll take our peace sign, our pointer and middle finger to our chin. We're gently going to press our chin back to bring ears over shoulders and to give us a little extra chins going on. Then we'll take our other hand to the back of the head. Very light pressure with both hands. And then shift the head down to the chest so that chin is still tucked in as we roll forward. Now we can make micro adjustments here, tilting the head over to one side or the other to find the right stretch up the neck, up the upper shoulders, up the back. And then slowly removing the pressure of the hands as we bring our eyes back to a neutral plane, taking them straight out in front of us. Now, we're going to bring our left ear to our left shoulder, dropping chin to chest as we roll in a half circle over to our right shoulder. Again, through our half circle, back to our left shoulder. We'll make these half circles back and forth. And next time our chin is to our chest, we'll slowly bring the eyes straight out in front again. Now, we're going to complete the neck roll, keeping in mind that when we roll the neck or when we move the neck back, we never want to fully drop the head back. We have a lot of very important veins, very important nerves that run up our neck, especially up the back of the neck to the brainstem, and we don't ever want to squish or pinch any of those. So as we roll our neck back, we'll only take our eyes up just a little ways, maybe to where the room and the ceiling meet in front of us, or maybe halfway to straight up, finding somewhere where we can still be long across the neck, both front and back, as we drop the shoulders away from the ears and roll around. So we'll bring the left ear over towards our left shoulder again, tucking chin to chest as we roll through center over to our right shoulder. Rolling back, lifting the eyes slightly, again dropping the ears away from the shoulders so we're not squishing, and around to the left shoulder again. Making these looping motions with the neck, very controlled in our speed and in our movements. time that our chin comes around to our chest, we'll switch directions, moving over to our left shoulder, up through center, towards our right shoulder, to the chest, and to the left shoulder again. Again, the next time our chin is down to our chest, we'll slowly bring the eyes back up to a more neutral plane. Good. With an inhale, we'll take the arms up to the ceiling, reaching them as high up as we can. And then we'll drop the hands to the shoulders. We're going to find a swimming motion here. Taking one elbow out in front while the other reaches back behind, switching and rotating both elbows around in circular motions. Now switching directions. We'll take the elbow back and down, back and down. Bringing both elbows out in front of us. So we're long across the back and the shoulders. So if your elbows touch, great. If they don't, that's great too. So we're going to find a little bit more expansion across the upper back by shifting forward, rolling a little bit. Again, taking a few big breaths here. Noticing that with the compression or the curl to the front of the chest, that the lungs will find expansion across the back of the chest. Good. Lifting the chest back up to our more neutral. We'll reach the arms to the ceiling again. And then drop the elbows down alongside our shoulders, keeping the hands pointed up. So this is our cactus pose. And we'll gently pull the shoulder blades in towards the spine. So we're pulling the elbows back as we shift wide across the front of the collarbones. Exhale, bringing the hands down beside us, and we're going to move towards standing. So if we're on a chair, we'll move that out of our way, or we'll get up from the floor to our Tadasana pose, or our mountain pose. We'll bring our ankles under our knees, under our hips. We'll pick the toes up, spread them out wide before setting them back down. With our inhale, lifting the shoulders up to the ears, rotating them back and then down the spine. Our fingers will pull out in front of us, gently pressing the pinkies forward so that we're finding a nice opening and lifting across the shoulders, finding a beautiful alignment to the shoulders here. So often now people have their shoulders pulled forward, and a great way to help with that is to rotate them back by pulling pinkies forward. Now pressing down through the feet. We'll take a few big breaths here. In through the nose and out through the nose or through the mouth. So we start to quiet the mind. Allowing ourselves to be in this moment this beautiful space. Take a moment for ourselves to just breathe and just be. Good. We'll start heel toeing the feet out a little wider, so they're about twice the distance of our shoulders. We can take the toes out a little wider than the heels to help with balance, or they can be parallel if that feels right to you today. We'll bring the arms to a T, and we'll find some happy elephants. We'll swing open to one side, through center to the other side. Notice I'm lifting my back heel as I turn so that we're not putting too much strain on the knees. We can let the arms sway side to side. And this is a great asana for helping with posture, to aid in digestion because we're getting that twisting in the lower abdomen, and to bring joy and movement to your day. And we'll slowly let the arms run out of momentum, coming to rest by our side. Now we can keep the feet where they are now if this feels nice and balanced to you. If you feel like you can fold over here with the feet apart, or we can bring them underneath the shoulders if balance isn't as much of an issue with you today. Keep in mind, we can always do a practice by the wall to help us with the balance of this movement. With an inhale, we'll reach the arms up to the ceiling, lifting tall. Exhale, softening the chest forward. We'll hinge from the waist as we relax the chest down and the top of the head as well. Forward fold. Now maybe finding a nod to the head, or maybe shaking the head no. So we can allow the upper body to be heavy to let us hang here. Now if you're not to the floor, that is completely fine. If you're more of up here, that is completely fine. We'll allow the arms and the top of the head to be heavy. Now, keeping the arms and the head heavy as we imagine us dragging the arms and head up with us, we'll put a little more bend to the knees, and we're going to start at the very base of our tailbone. Roll one vertebrae up past the next as we ragdoll our way to standing. So we're making a slow roll up the spine. And then lifting the shoulders and head last. Pick the shoulders up, roll them back and down a few times. Good. With our inhale, we'll take the arms up. Exhale, sweeping the arms out to the side, swan diving the chest forward. So we're leading with the chest for our forward fold. Inhale, finding a halfway lift. With this, we're lengthening from the tailbone out through the top of the head, taking the back to more of a tabletop posture, trying to flatten out the spine as we reach long by engaging the core, pulling the ribs and hip bones a little bit closer together so we can really find some lift in the abdomen to hold us strong here. Exhale, folding forward. Now we have a couple of ways we can get to our next move. If you feel confident putting your hands down on the floor, we can reach that left leg back behind us. If you don't get to the floor and that doesn't feel within your balance practice today, we can look over our left shoulder, picking up that left leg and setting it back as far as we can, and then we'll wiggle it around until we feel a balanced place. If we're stepping that foot back from here, drop it down and we'll lift from there. Now we're moving to our warrior one. So our right toes are going straight out the top of our mat. Our back toes are going straight out to our side at a 45-ish degree angle away from our front foot. Our back heel is planted. Our hips will come around to the top of the mat, and we'll take the arms up. Now keep in mind, in any of these postures that our arms are up, if that's too much work for you today or your shoulders are not feeling it, you can find these same benefits by bringing your hands to your shoulders. And if that's not in your cards today, you can bring your hands to the hips. So bending into that front knee. And we'll take a few breaths here. Good. Pressing down through our right toes, we can take our right leg to straight. With our exhale, we'll soften the chest towards the leg. We can bring the hands down to help with the balance, onto the leg, onto the floor, onto any props that we have. Now from here, we can either use the hands to walk up the legs to help us lift up, or we can add the bend into the right leg first, press down through the right foot and lift us up. Now picking up our back foot, we're going to pivot it around and walk it a little further back. So we have the bend in our right knee. We're open to our left side now, so our hips are going over the same direction as our left foot. Our arms will come out to a T and we'll reach long with both arms. Gently tucking the tailbone under to give us a long spine up towards the ceiling as we roll to the outer edge of our right foot. So we're keeping the whole of the foot down, but we're pressing down through our pinky side a little bit more through than our big toe side. More of those big breaths here. Good. Drop the hands down. We'll lengthen out through our right leg again by pressing through that right foot. We'll pivot that front foot around until both feet are pointed out to our side, the same side that our hips are facing. Now we are going to do a wide-legged forward fold. So we can either keep our feet parallel to each other, we can turn the toes out, heels in, or we can bring toes in, heels out, depending on what feels best on your knees and on your hips today. With our exhale, we'll swan dive the chest forward. And do the same thing here. Nodding the head yes. Shaking the head no. Letting the upper body be heavy. And drop the top of the head down. We'll walk our hands over towards our back foot, our left foot. Walk our hands through center, over to our right foot, and back through center again. Now from here we can either lift the body up, and if that's not in your practice today, we can keep the hands down, put quite a bit of bend to both legs as we start heel toeing, walking our feet in. Same thing as if we lift straight up. We're going to walk our feet back in underneath of us, back to our Tadasana. Moving to the top of our mat again, we'll do the other side to make us nice and even. With a big breath in, reach up to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Soften the chest forward. Inhale, halfway lift, engaging the core, taking the eyes a little ways out in front. exhale, fold. Now if we can get the hands down and step our right foot back this way, that's awesome. If not, we'll find a lifting back up, making our way to standing, looking over our right shoulder, stepping that foot back, and wiggling it to wherever it needs to be. Putting the bend into our left knee, dropping our back heel down, 45-degree angle away. Hips come to the top of our mat, so they're reaching forward like our left foot. And we'll take the arms up. Pressing down through our left foot to help us take that left leg towards straight. Pyramid pose, hinging forward. Inhale, walking up or floating up, adding the bend into the front leg. And we'll pivot our back foot around, so it's straight out to our side mat as we walk it a little further back. Hips turn towards our side. We'll bend into our left leg and take the arms out, reaching forward and back. Now pressing down through our front foot, our left foot, we will pick up and rotate that left foot around. Again, finding a wide-legged forward fold, so turning the toes wherever they need to be balanced. As we soften the chest forward, dropping the top of the head down, we'll be looking back between the legs. Again, we have an option to lift back up out of this pose, or to keep the hands down as we start heel-toeing the feet back into center. We will end in our Tadasana again, bringing feet under knees, under hips, pick the toes up, spread them out wide and set them back down. Lifting shoulders up to the ears, rotating them back and down, pulling the pinkies forward, closing the eyes, and taking a few deep breaths. Now, I like to end my class with a little bit of gratitude. Be sure to thank yourself for finding this practice today, for moving through this practice today, for trying something new, for being able to and wanting to move your body today, and to find a little bit of peace and quiet through breath work, through being in the moment, and allowing yourself. We'll give ourselves a nice big mental hug or a big old physical hug. And we'll take one last large breath in through the nose. letting it go as a sigh. Thank you so very much for joining me today. It is always such a joy and an honor to get to spend this time with you. Please like and subscribe so you can get more content like this. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Go in love and go in light.